I'm Cynthia Ng. You are tuning in to another episode of AWANI Review. Today we will be taking a closer look on creating a retail ecosystem for the future. And joining me on the show, on this episode, I have two guests with me. It is my pleasure to welcome Tom Lee Chong. He's on my right. He is the CEO and co-founder of Ecosys. Tom is also the founder of Insight Food Tech. Welcome to the show. And joining us as well, we have Karen Phua. She is the CEO of Insight Food Tech. So allow me to begin with the basics. So Insight Food Tech and Ecosys, these are two separate entities, but recently Ecosys was acquired by Insight Food Tech. So Tom, I'll give you the job of explaining to us these two different companies and how did this acquisition come about?
Sure, thank you so much, Cynthia. Well, Insight Food Tech basically focus more on the consumer sectors. Okay, we run quite a number of F&B brands and also corporate-owned outlets, mainly focus on the cafe industries. We also are coffee roasters in Malaysia as well. We also produce our own cakes and pastry. Right? Okay, currently we have more than 20 outlets in Malaysia. And at the same time, okay, we also have our own technology team, which has launched a consumer app recently. Okay, in order to benefit our end consumers, right? Insight Food Tech has been around for close to about 4 years until now. But at the same time, I personally have been involved in the F&B industry for more than 10 years. There are a lot of challenges facing the retail industry, like us. Okay, for example, as a retail operators, okay, we do face a lot of challenges when it comes to solutions to help us to increase revenue, to help us to reduce our costs, okay, or even make things more efficient. And hence, together with some partners, we co-founded Ecosys with the intention of providing business solutions to the retailers, especially the F&B industry.
Okay, so Ecosys is more focused on retailers, F&B, and Insight Food Tech is the overarching company that's looking at various other industries as well. With that, Karen, please give us an insight about Insight Food Tech and what are the other areas that you're focused on?
Thank you, Cynthia, and thanks for having us. So if you look at the overarching overview as you were talking about earlier, you will see that we are focused on 4 areas, right? So it starts with the consumer side. This is where the F&B outlets comes into the picture. And then with that, you will see a flow or a collection of data that will help with the consumer tech. So what does the consumer want, right? They want value for their money. If I were to spend at this outlet, what do I get out of it, right? What more? And then we also have under the consumer tech licensed products, like for example, when you go to a shopping center and you spend X number of ringgit, you get to collect points, and then there's a redemption program. So that is also one part of our offering. And then from there, you need to have the technology side to support all these activities that is front-facing. And then we have the back end, which is the retail tech that supports the back end. So as you can see, a customer that walks in the shop will not be able to see that they have actually been touched by so many of our partners and subsidiaries. Yeah.
Okay, how does that come together then in what you're aiming to do with these two companies joining forces, Tom?
Well, ultimately, the whole idea is, okay, how are we able to serve the underserved segments? Okay, underserved segment can be, I'll talk about the underserved segments, which includes the micro, small, medium enterprises, right? Okay, and also at the same time, the underserved segments, which are the mass market, the end consumer markets, right? Okay, but the end goal is to reposition ourselves as a financial technology group, okay, by harnessing the data that we get from the consumer tech and also the retail technology division as well, okay. Just to give you some examples, okay, we do provide point of sale system solutions to our clients, our small medium enterprises. We also provide customer relationship management software as well, right? Okay, with all this data, it allows us to use this alternative data to come up with a different financial scheme to provide them with alternative financing solutions. Because most of these micro, small, medium enterprises may not have access to the banking system.
Right.
They may not be able to borrow from them or even at a very fast pace, right? Okay. So that is our angle. How do we use all this data to lend them money digitally?
Okay, but talking about what I'm hearing is a lot of digitalization, getting small, medium businesses onto tech. But to a certain extent, I feel that a lot of retailers are already on, they have transformed over the past couple of years, especially, either going to cloud or going cashless. And so how will your company or your setup help them to go a step further?
Well, normally I won't use the word transform, okay, I'll just use the word extension, okay. Basically it's just an extension of what they have been doing. Food delivery is just an extension of dine-in, okay, or even curbside pickup, right, okay. So if you ask me, have they embraced digitalization wholly, I wouldn't say so, okay. And most of the time, okay, they do not really know what to do with the data they have generated.
Okay.
Yes, they do have point of sale system, but how to make sense of the data they have generated? What can they do with it? Right, okay. Like I say, one way of us making sense of the data that they have is by providing them with funding solutions, right? Okay, by harnessing the data that they've generated from their point of sale system, or even from their inventory management software, or even from the procurement software, because this data has given us very rich transactional data, okay, which tell us, okay, how much money they need, how much money they have spent as well, okay, and based on all this historical trend and pattern, how much money are we able to lend to them, right? Okay, so this is just one of the examples how we are able to make sense of the data that they have been generating without them knowing it.
When you talk about retail ecosystem, the plan here with these two entities is to create a unified retail ecosystem focusing on Southeast Asia. That is the ambition. Karen, can you talk to us about what is a unified commerce and how is it different from the much talked about omni-channel retail that retailers are more familiar about at this point in time?
Okay, very good question. I think in a more simplistic manner, unified means that everything under one vertical, right? So then you have back from your front end right down to your back end using only one supplier, whereas omni-channel has got, let's say for example, if you're looking at your marketing distribution, so that would include Facebook being one, IG being one, TikTok being one. So those are called omni-channel, right? But if you look at it realistically, a unified retail system and omni-channel can work and coexist together, right? So let's go back a little bit about what Tham mentioned and about serving the underserved, right? If you look at the data from Bank Negara's annual report, actually 80% of the SMEs do not get the financing that they require, and it's also because of the lack of documentation on their part, the bookkeeping side not being able to maintain the paperwork. But if they are on our system and we take care of all this back end for them, they don't even need to think that they need financing. We are already there, ready for them to say yes, So that's what we are trying to achieve. And you'll be surprised, out of the 80%, a lot more are female. Of course, me and my women Rara and women empowerment, So we're very sensitive to how do we help the women folk to progress in their business.
All right. Well, that's a very interesting point because when we talk about retailers, they are at a different degree of digital adaptation or digital transformation. I know you don't like that word, but I do want to get your thoughts, especially for SMEs or this micro SMEs who do not even know how to get started. How do you reach out to them, and what do you say to them? Where do they begin?
Well, I think the most challenging part is because all these retailers, speaking from my own experience running F&B myself, they're very price sensitive. They're very cost sensitive as well. Because you do see a very typical example whereby the F&B outlets run by the whole family. Okay, the father could be the manager himself, could be the barista himself, right? Okay, and maybe at night he could be the accountant himself as well, right? Okay, so all dollar and cents are earned through their blood and sweat, right? Okay, so for them to fork out, let's say, 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit a month, okay, just to use the system, okay, which they may not think they need it, right? Okay, it can be quite painful for them, okay. So most of the time, we keep thinking, okay, how are we able to offer a solution to you, okay, for free right now, okay, or even earn based on the transactions that we're able to help you to generate, okay. This is why, just to give you an example, we do have an event-based booking platform we have a catering booking platform, okay, which we only charge them on a success basis. Okay, we provide revenue, we generate revenue for them, right? Okay, and we take a cut. The cut could range from 10% to 20% of the transaction value, right? Okay, so they won't feel painful because of that, but due to the free solutions, okay, they start exploring what are the solutions that they may need, because they start seeing that, well, I start looking at new revenue stream from this group, okay, maybe I can use this profit, okay, to plow back to the solutions that we are able to offer and charge them some minimum fees. But eventually, if we are able to use those data, okay, and lend them money, that's how we start recouping our investment, by investing in these merchants.
Okay, so essentially covering the entire loop and also from front
to the
end. Okay, now we talk about retail. First, one thing that comes to mind at this point in time is the outlook of the global economy, rising prices. Will this be another choppy year for retailers, and how will that impact business?
Well, everyone is talking about that 2023, okay, will be a gloomy year for everyone. In fact, I do see opportunity for us. Yes, I do agree that it's quite challenging this year. Okay, inflation rate is high. I start seeing that a lot of tech companies are retrenching staff as well. Okay, but on our side, I do see as an opportunity for us to hire talents out there. Okay. And if you look at how we have grown over the last few years, okay, we have grown through a slew of merger and acquisitions. Okay, it also means that this has presented a very good opportunity for us to partner with other players, be it tech players or even retail players, who thinks that they need a partner to grow together. Right? Okay, the business owners nowadays, they're more open to options of collaborating or even partnering. Okay, given the current difficult climate, right? Okay, and this is why when there's a crisis, I do see that there's an opportunity for us to grow even outside of Malaysia as well. Okay, it has also opened up some opportunities for other foreign players who see this could be an opportunity for them to venture into Malaysia, and likewise we are able to bring our solutions to their countries, and this is how we end up with close to about 8 countries under our portfolio currently.
All right, 8 countries. Okay, I do want to get into your expansion plans a bit later on. Going to Karen, just staying on the topic of inflation, rising prices, there's only so much you can pass on to the consumers, and how does that squeeze in the pockets of SMEs especially would hinder taking up a new technology solution like yours?
They will if they don't come to us. But by going with us, I think we are more lenient, and because we've been there before, it is not like a zero-sum game where this is the cost, you either take it or you leave it. We work very closely with our SME clients.
Okay, and how many, if you don't mind me asking, how many companies are under your portfolio at the moment? How many retailers have you helped?
Currently, we are serving more than 10,000 merchants. Okay, I think one thing that we do differently from the other tech players is we do serve quite a number of large enterprises as well.
Okay.
Okay, and large enterprises means those that could be listed companies or multinational corporations, and they act pretty fast, okay, and they do have budget to spend on solutions, right? Okay, so what we do is, okay, we have built a pretty good foundation by serving all the large enterprises, which has given us ample time for us to penetrate the small medium enterprises, right? Okay.
Where then do you think is the biggest pocket of growth potential that you're seeing within the retail ecosystem? Let's start with Malaysia first before we go into the region.
Well, definitely it's the micro small enterprises segments. Okay, there's no doubt about it, right? Okay, but again, educating them can be quite challenging, right? Okay, and taking money out from the pocket, okay, is even more challenging, right? Okay, so the only way I look at it is, okay, how are we able to have a profit sharing, or we call it revenue sharing? When they make money, we make money, right? Okay, because the way they operate is very different from large enterprises, which they do have budget to spend on solutions or even new technology solutions to make things more efficient, right? Okay, like I say, it takes a longer time, okay, to even reach out to them, because they do need more personalized services and also to build the trust between the solution provider and also the merchants, right?
what's next then? The ambition, from what I've read, is to conquer Southeast Asia. How are you going to do that, given that Southeast Asia is a region with very diverse set of customers, and also in terms of traditions and heritage, and also shopping habits?
If you look at Southeast Asia, there is close to 600 million population.
Yeah.
And outside of Malaysia and Singapore, you are looking at maybe an average of 50% that are unbanked. So you are also looking at a large market of micro SME to tap. And we're going to use a similar tactic like what we use in Malaysia, which is to touch from the things that they do on a daily basis, which is to drink a cup of coffee. And then from there, we will move and build our stacks, so to speak.
Just staying with Karen just a little bit, because Karen comes from a fintech background, so you look at accessibility to finance. Is that something that the company aims to do, which is to provide financing to retailers or merchants in the future?
We are already doing that at the moment through one of our subsidiaries, called PNC Loan, or the brands that we are going out with is Beyond Pay. That particular entity is governed by KPKT and Bank Negara. So you can see the progress with Bank Negara setting up a CCOB, a standalone CCOB, just to oversee buy now pay later, shows you that that is what the market is heading towards. And that is the same business model that is being applied to all the countries around Southeast Asia. It is a very aggressive market.
Is Insight Food Tech, is the end game to be a Grab of sorts, but for merchants and retailers?
Well, I would say that the end goal is to be a financial technology group serving the Southeast Asian market, right? Okay, like what Karen mentioned, of that 600 million populations, or even more than million merchants, okay, in Southeast Asia, right? Okay, 80% are still unbanked. 80% are still micro, small, medium enterprises, right? Okay, and they, whatever we have done in Malaysia, we want to replicate that success and bring over to Indonesia and also Vietnam. Okay? These are the two larger markets that we're looking at currently. Okay, and also because both of us, we do have experience venturing outside Malaysia before. We have seen how things work in Singapore, how things work in Myanmar, Philippines as well. Okay, and if you look at this, we do share quite similar culture, even though with different languages. Okay, the whole idea is how are we able to help these underserved segments. And why I'm so passionate about helping them is I came from that background myself. Okay, we do not have any backing when we started. Okay, how do we get funds to start a business? That's the most important thing. Okay, even when we talk about expanding our business, opening one outlet after that, second and third, right? Okay, without the support from the banking industry, okay, are we able to tap into alternative funding solutions, like equity crowdfunding platform? Okay, and Malaysia actually is the first Southeast Asia country which has launched equity crowdfunding platform, right? Okay, and how are we able to bring all this experience that we have, okay, to other countries which has a larger population than Malaysia?
You are operating in a pool with large financial institutions, large fintech, and also large super apps. So what's the competitive advantage do you think that Insight Food Tech can offer?
Okay. One thing that we do differently is, okay, we don't jump to digital lending directly. Okay, it's always building the data, the funnel. Right? Okay, this is how we started providing retail solutions, retail technology solutions. Solutions can take the form of technology or non-technology. It can be in the form of marketing solutions. Okay, by helping the merchants to link with a loyalty program sponsored by the banks or even the telco companies. Right? Okay, so when you build that bridge or even that trust with the merchants, okay, you kind of have a profile of who they are, their character as well. Okay, and because by then you feel very comfortable with this client, and when they need funds, you know, based on their character, okay, they will be able to pay. Their intention is to settle the debts, right? Okay, and our focus is providing microfinancing to all these merchants. And it has proven that micro lending, it works to help the micro, small, medium enterprise segments, and the default rate is relatively lower as well.
So from what I'm hearing, you are doing a lot in terms of providing funding and all the way up to providing that integrated retail solutions. Can you give us a sense of how do you see the company will look like in the next 5 years, Karen?
Oh, okay. I think this question is more suited for Tom because he's actually the brainchild behind all of this.
Over to you then, Tom.
Okay. Well, ultimately, I would like people to see us as more a financial solution company, okay, a fintech company as well, okay, focusing on Southeast Asia. It doesn't matter where we come from, okay. The most important thing is, are we able to provide lending solutions to the end consumers, and how are we able to do that? Example, if we have presence in Malaysia with more than 300 outlets, be F&B, be providing electrical appliances or even groceries or pharmaceuticals, right? Okay, we will have a rich data of the consumers, which allow us to assess, okay, their potential disposable income and also their disposable expenses, right? Okay, and this will give us an idea how much are we able to lend to them, okay, instead of them going to the bank. Likewise, by giving all different kind of retail solutions to the merchants, from point of sale system to CRM to merchant partnership to redemption program or media platforms, right? Okay, it allows us to have a very good profiling of the merchants, right? Okay, and again, it comes back to lending. How much are we able to lend to them, right? Okay, so if you look at all the things that we have built at the back, be it consumer tech, retail tech, marketing tech, right? Okay, it all leads back to financial technology. Okay, so that is what we intend to do. We want to use financial as a service to enable the consumers, to enable the business owners in Southeast Asia.
All right. I do have a few minutes left, and one of the interesting news I've read about Ecosys, which you co-founded, is it was picked as one of the emerging unicorns of Malaysia. Can you talk to us about that ambition to become a unicorn? Is that something that you aim to do with this company?
Well, the word unicorn has never appeared, or even we never discussed that during our meetings. To be real honest with you, okay, we were very flattered when we received that news, right? Okay, and if you look at the top 10 like potential emerging giants, okay, in the list, one thing that stands out among the rest is we are backed by equity crowdfunders. Okay. We are backed by equity investors. We are not backed by any venture capital arms, right? Okay, and again, it resonates back to what we intend to do. Okay, how do we help the underserved? And that is what happened to us. Okay, we are the underserved segment ourselves. Okay, we tap on the equity crowdfunding platform to help ourselves, which eventually has been recognized by HSBC and KPMG. Yep. And interestingly, they position us as a fintech company, and we did not mention much about what we wanted to do back then. Okay, but I guess from what they have gathered, they know that with all the data that we have, okay, it has given us a lot of rich transactional data to enable our digital lending business eventually. Yeah.
Any fundraising plans this year?
Definitely. With the merger right now, okay, we'll be looking at raising another round of pre-IPO fundraising, looking at about maybe potentially $2 million to potentially $10 million, okay, and that will spearhead our digital lending business moving forward.
All right, I do want to get your thoughts about the funding ecosystem. The days of easy money is over, at least in the startup world. Hypergrowth, the term, is being replaced by sustainability and profitability. How does that impact your expansion plans in terms of getting funding?
Okay. I would say this year is the year that we're going back to fundamentals, right? Okay. I always emphasize there are 3 lines that we wanted to do. One is storyline, one is top line and bottom line. Okay. This year definitely we focus on top line and bottom line. Okay. And luckily for us, okay, we still maintain a pretty lean staff force. Okay. And I do not subscribe to the idea of burning money, raising funds to burn money, okay, or raising funds to burn money to get data. What we do is we provide solutions to get data, and by using that data, okay, we are able to benefit our digital lending business, right? Okay. So with that in mind, I think that with the resources that we have currently, we'll be able, and also the the partners that we have right now through numerous kind of acquisitions, right? We're able to do a lot of cross-sellings and extract the synergies. So this is the year of integrating the team and also extracting the synergies among all the partners as well to deliver profitability.
All right, now in the final minute that we have, just quickly, I know, Tom, you've had multiple startups and you have failed a few times. What are some of the biggest lessons you have learned in your journey as an entrepreneur?
I failed many times. I lost count, right? Okay, I think I failed more than 9 times myself over the last 12 years. But one thing that reminds me every time I fail is never give up, right? Okay? And with that in mind, I always bounce back quite quickly and keep looking for new solutions. And maybe because of that, I become more adaptive into the new environment, okay? And like I say, it has trained us to be a better person. In every crisis, we intend to sniff out opportunity and even partnership, okay? Especially partners who have failed before. They will cherish this kind of long-term partnership who are able to help each other.
Well, thank you so much, Karen and Dan, for spending some time with me to talk about the retail ecosystem of the future, and best of luck with your plans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.